Good day, gentlemen. I've been with my girlfriend for over 5.5 years. I've been on self-improvement for over 7 years, and I've been able to build an extraordinary relationship with my girl and help a bunch of my coaching clients achieve the exact same. In this video, I want to share some maybe unconventional advice that nobody else has given you so far, because to be quite honest, 99% of men, they don't even know this stuff. Now, you are in a bit of a unique situation because of your self-improvement, because of your ambition, and I'll tell you exactly how that is holding you back from building the relationship that you actually want, and what you're doing wrong and how you can fix it. Because the thing is this, let's be honest, your relationship right now, it's below your standard. Most areas of your life are either already pretty leveled up, or you know that you will get there. You have a clear plan, a clear action plan in the gym, for example. You know exactly what to do to get more jacked, right? You know what to do. But with your relationship, the future is kind of uncertain because you don't really know what the fuck you're doing there. Let's be honest here. You just can't tolerate a normal relationship anymore because of your high levels of ambition, but you don't know what to do specifically for your relationship to get there. So let's get into it. The first thing that so many young men, especially more younger men, struggle with when it comes to ambition. There's a hawk hunting a crow. And the other crow is trying to save the... Okay, now the hawk turned off. Nice. Sorry, nature, fascinating. Anyway, the first thing that many young men, especially more younger men, like I said, get very wrong is they overthink all the time about keeping polarity, because you've been told by all these YouTubers, all these self-improvement bros, all these red pill guys. There's a whole fight going on here. All these red pill guys, that you need to keep polarity and that she's gonna cheat on you if you don't build polarity and this and this and that, and that your relationship will fail and all that. The thing is, because you've been told all this stuff, yes, polarity is important. If anyone doesn't know what polarity is, it's pretty much the attraction between, the polarity of masculine and feminine energy, not male and female gender roles. That's not what we're talking about here. It's masculine and feminine sexual energy, and because of those differences in the two partners, they attract each other, right? Just like two magnets that are different. So, at the end of the day, polarity is incredibly important, 100%. But you cannot achieve secure polarity if you act from a place of fear. And that's what you do. And that's what all these self-improvement bros, by the way, also do. All these YouTubers, they act from a place of fear. All these red pillers obviously act from a place of fear. Forget all the red pill bullshit about what women want, because that's just what hurt and traumatized women want. That's like the demographic of, or like the kind of women that these guys attract. But we want, and hopefully you already have, we want a good woman, we want a secure woman, right? What does a good woman want? And the red pill even says this, kind of. Well, she wants security, she wants safety, she doesn't want you to act from a place of fear. And so you need to, first of all, realize that you are operating from a place of fear, and then you need to have a conversation with yourself first about this fear. You need to actually admit to yourself, hey, I have this fear and I want to overcome this because it's holding me back from going deeper. It's just like this fear of, I'm afraid to go to the gym because people might judge me, or I'm afraid to speak to this girl, like this might have been a few years ago, right? And then you overcame this fear and now you're with that girl. At the end of the day, man, you need to overcome this fear and first have a conversation with yourself. Really realize and understand this yourself, and give yourself a bit of slack. Give yourself a bit of empathy. Because nobody taught you how to do this. It's not your fault that you're in this situation, but now it is your responsibility to get out, right? And then have a conversation about this with your girl if you need your help, if you need her help to solve this. If it is more of an anxious attachment style that you have, which I had in the past, now completely solved, but in the past I really had this. I really struggled a lot. My girl never gave me any reasons to think this, but I really thought, I obsessed about these thoughts of what if she cheats on me, what if she leaves me, what if this, what if that, really very much anxiously attached to her. And that's just because of the way I was raised and my childhood experiences and experiences with friends and all that kind of stuff, me getting bullied for 8 years, right? That all contributes to it. But it was never something that she did to make me think these things. So what I did is I had a very open conversation with mature masculine direction, not whining, not complaining, but telling her, hey, I want to take this relationship deeper, but I have this fear and I need your help to solve this, which for attachment styles is true. With other fears, maybe you don't need her help. Maybe it's just literally something irrational that you need to change. But if it's an anxious attachment style, you need her help, because attachment styles always go both ways, right? Or you get attached to a person, well, you need that person's help to build a secure attachment to them. You can't just build a secure attachment to someone without their help, without them doing something different, because there's reasons why you think that they might cheat on you, that they might do this, they might do that, even though they don't actively give you those reasons, right? Now you might think, oh, but that's not masculine, that's not this, that's not that. Well, tell me this, brother. Who's more masculine? Who's more secure, more grounded? The person who admits their insecurities openly, asks for help because the only thing that matters for him is the result, and he knows that he needs help for this, and then gets the result, or the guy who tries to act like a hero and doesn't ever get the result that he actually wants. Well, I know who that is, and you know as well. I know who's more masculine and who's more mature. Now, another thing that most of these self-improvement YouTubers, they implanted this into your head is you need to have sex 3 times a day because otherwise you don't have a good relationship. Well, I'll be honest, I took that advice to heart a couple of years ago, and it really just made me unable to enjoy slow and loving sex, which can still be very passionate, right? And I'm not saying that rough sex is something bad, because it's certainly a tool, but at the end of the day, guys like Hamza, the self-improvement YouTubers, the self-improvement YouTuber, how can I not say, can't fucking talk, sorry, Hamza, right? You know this guy. He made me believe that I need to fuck like an alpha male, whatever the fuck that means, and that otherwise my girl will leave me. What I realized over the years is, first of all, Hamza is the kind of guy who never even had a successful long-term relationship. By the way, Hamza, if you need help, hit me up, I can help you. I've talked to Hamza in the past, so I can say this here. Thing is this, boys. Hamza has the right intentions, but Hamza hasn't realized that for most women, rough sex is just so stimulating and so opening, because it's kind of a brute force way of breaking through their barriers, and that works with women who don't fully trust their man, the man they're having sex with there. Because a woman who fully trusts her man's masculine core, she will be able to open deeply while having very little aggression, very little brute force sex, very little rough sex, but rather slow and loving sex as well. She's gonna be able to open with rough sex as well, but also with slow and loving and compassionate sex. More like a companionship there, right? So it really is about building trust. And to be honest with you, I don't even have time. I literally don't even have time to have sex 3 times a day. I thought about this once and then I was like, I wouldn't get any of my work done anymore. How the fuck would that work? So just make up your own mind here and realize that you don't need to fuck like an alpha male and have passionate passionate, yes, but not rough sex all the time, because it's just a tool in the toolkit that can be used but can also not be used. At the end of the day, if a woman cannot trust her man's masculine core enough, that's most likely because she feels that he's uncomfortable with himself. And this is really the greatest indicator of whether you're actually satisfied and happy with the sex that you're having, is how do you feel in between having sex, like in between sessions, so to say. How do you feel right before having sex? How do you feel while you're doing it? And how do you feel right after sex? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel agitated? Or do you feel peaceful and free? I'll be honest, sex for me in my relationship is a non-negotiable. I want to have sex. I don't need sex, obviously, but I want to have sex, of course. But not from a needy perspective, but rather from sex is, again, a tool to help us go deeper. And this is like a very masculine perspective of looking at it, but it is really a tool of helping us go deeper into this relationship, build a deeper connection, build deeper trust with each other, build deeper love between each other. And the funny thing here is, Hamza and all these other guys, they all quote this one spiritual teacher, David Deida. And they all talk about polarity, polarity here, polarity there. David Deida, in one of his books, literally wrote, this is a direct quote, "Love is more important than polarity." And the reason for that is, love leads to polarity automatically. Because if two people are in love and they want to take this relationship deeper and they want to make it work, and they find out, hey, we need to build more polarity, then they will do everything in their power to build that polarity. Now, on the other hand, If you only have polarity, well, only polarity will lead to attraction, but it will not lead to love. Attraction and love are two completely different things at the end of the day. So just keep this in mind. Love is more important than polarity. Those are direct words from David Deida, the guy who wrote The Way of the Superior Man and a lot of other books, and the guy who everyone quotes, and in my opinion quotes falsely, because they don't say this stuff that he actually says. They just take the surface level stuff that he says. And brother, this is the reason why sex with a person that you don't love leaves you feeling so empty, because polarity without love is unfulfilling at the end of the day. Now, another point that I want to make here is that many young guys, including my past self, we adopt certain values about the world, about society, about women, about money from these self-improvement YouTubers and from the red pill guys, right? And these values often clash. I see this a lot with the members of our free community, actually. They often tell me like, hey, my morals and my values, they often clash with those of my girl. I hope you can still hear me. There's a helicopter flying here, but I think it should work. And so these often clash with the values of my girl, and I don't really know what to do there. What I tell them is, make your own authentic decision at the end of the day. But don't make the easy decision, make the right decision. And the right decision often needs to take into account her feminine intuition. Because her intuition is much stronger than yours is. I'll give you a perfect example on this right now. Pretty much exactly 2 years ago, June 2022, I decided to quit my first business because I just didn't see a purpose in it anymore. I didn't really see any reason to continue running it, and I was already excited about the next thing, right? And decided to quit that business, told my girl about this decision, and she said, oh, good thing you finally realized that. I didn't see you in that business anymore for the last 2 years. She realized 2 years before me that I should have quit that business. And that I was doing this out of a shallow intention. That I wasn't really doing this out of giving something to the world, but just out of making money and feeling good about myself and that kind of stuff, right? Feeling productive. Instead of actually figuring out what I actually deeply want to contribute to this world. Isn't that interesting? And so, yes, at the end of the day, you need to make your authentic decision. Don't just follow whatever she says, but take her intuition into account. And you don't have any idea how strong her intuition actually is. There's this one joke that this guy makes, which is he takes men through like a 7-day retreat on feeling more of your emotions as a man, and feeling more, getting more intuition as a man. And then afterwards, he makes this joke and he says, now that you've done all this work, you feel as much intuition as an average, maybe even below average intuitive woman. Because the feminine has such a strong intuition. Of course, not every woman is feminine, not every man is masculine, but you get the point, right? Those men, those more masculine people now feel as much, or maybe even less intuition as a more feminine person, an average feminine person. And so trust your feminine, your girl's feminine intuition. Trust it with those values that you adopt. Don't just follow some values blindly of some YouTuber just because those values make you feel validated and make you feel good. Now, another point that I want to make, and that I've noticed on myself in the past as well, is that through personal development, self-improvement, you often become quite immature. Imagine this guy. He's not on self-improvement, he's never heard about that stuff, but he becomes a carpenter or a woodworker at 18. 2 or 3 years later, he has his full life probably pretty much in order. He knows how to do his taxes, he has a car, he has a friend group, and yes, he goes to the pub with those friends or he plays video games, but he knows how to communicate with people. He knows how to do actually hard things, right? And your girl will notice your immaturity in that sense, and your self-centeredness in that sense, and she will also notice your unwillingness to do things that are actually hard. Because going to the gym, make no mistake, that's not hard anymore. Going to the gym, meditating, doing all this self-improvement stuff, that's not hard anymore for you. You want to do that stuff. What's hard for you is making an important phone call. That's what's actually hard. Isn't that incredible? You might be an adult already, or you might be a teenager, and what's hard for you is making a fucking phone call. Because there's gonna be a person on the other end of the line that you don't know. How interesting is that? That's what's actually hard for you. Yet you tell yourself, oh no, you know what's hard is going to the gym and grind and the Sigma male grinds it and all this bullshit. That's not actually hard, man. That's not actually hard. That's your comfort zone. Your girl will notice that style of immaturity that you have. Now here's the most important point of this whole video. I always keep the most important points till the end of the video because I don't want the guy who just watches 2 minutes of this video, I don't want those guys to get the nuggets. So here you go. This is something that I notice with pretty much every single one of my clients. I notice this happening, and I also notice this from my past. At the end of the day, what they often say is, I put so much work, so much effort into this relationship, but my girl just doesn't seem to reciprocate that. She doesn't seem to put in the same effort. I'm telling you right now, she does. But you just don't see it. Because her way of contributing to a relationship is vastly different to your way. If you expect your girl to wake up at 6 a.m. and to work out and to build an aesthetic body and do this and do that and do all this stuff, right? And be extremely healthy and do all this stuff, that takes a lot of discipline. Well, then look at your friends or look at someone like me who does all this stuff. Are you attracted to me? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're attracted to your girl, or I'm attracted. I'll give you a perfect example of this. I'm attracted to my girl who, when I get up at 6 a.m., which I do every single day, when I get up at 6 a.m., when the alarm goes off, what does she do? She stays in bed. She cuddles with the pillow, she cuddles with the blanket, stays in bed a little longer because it's warm, because it's cuddly, it's nice. She smiles at me, she snoozes a bit, lays there, smiles at me, watches me do my stuff. And I find that incredibly cute, which is why I encourage her to do it every single day. I just think it's very lovely and very cute of her, like just her doing that, and I see that she's enjoying it. But that's her way of contributing to the relationship. Her way of contributing to the relationship is not the discipline that you have. She's not as disciplined as you are. She contributes by giving you peace. She contributes by being the center of your peace in your life, by helping you rejuvenate, by helping you re-energize after a hard day of work or a hard day of training or whatever it might be. You strive. You're very straightforward in your life. She flows. She flows with whatever life gives her. And she flows between tasks, and she flows in her life. Her body just flows all the time. She flows with her emotions. While you strive, one line, just ignore all feelings, ignore all emotions. This is the goal. Please realize that she is contributing and that she is helping you achieve the kind of relationship that you actually want, which is that third stage relationship. I'll quickly explain that whole concept here around first stage, second stage, third stage. A first stage relationship, or a first stage person, first stage man or woman, is someone who needs a partner to feel good about themselves and to feel whole. A second stage person doesn't need anyone. I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. But they might still want a man or want a woman, but they don't need one. They feel whole, they feel complete by themselves. Now the thing is, with both of those stages, if you want to feel whole, that means you have boundaries. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to fill those boundaries, right? You have boundaries and then you fill them either with a partner or with yourself. There comes a point for most people, not all of them. Some people are very happy in a second stage relationship, and they should be in a second stage relationship. They shouldn't even try to go further. But for most people who don't have a balanced sexual essence, pretty much, right? The people who are happy in a 50-50 second stage relationship, they have a balanced sexual essence. If you think that you lean more to the masculine or feminine side, then you want a third stage relationship. And that just pretty much means feeling whole is not enough for you anymore. Feeling whole is not enough anymore. You want to melt those boundaries. You want to go further. You want to go beyond this. Please realize that she is helping you to get there, just in other ways as how you would contribute and how you would help her. And that's a good thing, because that keeps up polarity in your relationship. Now, what you need to realize about these three stages and about getting to that third stage is that you just can't immediately get to that third stage by doing something. You need to first master and overcome the first stage, then master and overcome the second stage, and then you can slowly work into that third stage, which, by the way, will be a lifelong pursuit. I'll tell you that right now. And people think that's a bad thing. Oh, you can never reach perfection. Perfection isn't there. No, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. I like improving, I like growing, I like developing myself. And my girl also does. And so it's great for us that we can never have a perfect relationship, because that always means we can improve something. Not from a place of lack, not from a place of missing something, but from a place of, hey, we want to go even further. We're curious to see what goes on even beyond this boundary or beyond this level. Now, if you consider yourself a hardworking man and you are ready and willing to take your relationship to that fulfilling, inspiring third stage relationship that supports your goals, that supports your mission, that gives you peace, then the quickest and easiest way to achieve that is to join our Deep Lovers community. So in this community, right now I teach over 140 men on how they can build this extraordinary relationship, and they also support each other, they help each other out when they need to. So if you're interested, there's a link in the description. You can click that right now. It takes 1 minute to sign up to the community. It's free, like I said. And yeah, I'm excited to have you in there. I'm excited to talk to you in there.